Hello and welcome to the APTA Grand Prix Series. We are live from the Short Hills Club in Short Hills, New Jersey on the APTA network. I am Patty Hogan alongside Lauren Mandel for an exciting men's round of 32 matchup between Mike Stulac and Billy Browne and Mark Powers and John Hughes, our number 4 seeds. Lauren Mandel is going to tell you a little bit about the players.
Well, we have a bit of a veteran team against more of a newcomer team here. It'll be interesting to see what experience does for Mike Stulac and Billy Browne. Stulac is a 2-time national champ and a 3-time husband-wife champion with his wife, Carrie Delmonico. And he's playing with Billy Browne. This is their first tournament together. And they're playing the number 4 seeds who've been very successful this year. In the orange shirt is Mark Powers. He's from New York City, and he's played number 1 at Yale for 4 years. Excellent tennis player. His partner, John Hughes, is from Massachusetts and was also a top college tennis player at Quinnipiac. And Powers and Hughes have the distinction, Patty, of being one of the only top teams that aren't actually paddle professionals. And we're going to have an interesting match here. We'll see if the older, more experienced guys can hang with the younger ones.
We have Mark Bliss as our umpire.
Powers. They lead 1-0 first set.
And that was Billy Browne serving and getting broken immediately by the teams of Hughes and Powers.
Yeah, Hughes and Powers don't give you a lot. They run down everything. I mean, John Hughes makes some crazy gets. Sometimes I feel like watching him. He spends more time on the lying flat out on the court than he does standing up straight. So these guys, Stulac and Browne, are going to have to work for their games. Mark Powers to serve.
We've had the benefit of watching the 3 of these players throughout the last couple seasons, a lot on the live streaming, Lauren. Billy Browne's kind of I think this is his eNet Live debut here. He plays over in Chatham, lives in New York City, father of 2 kids, longtime New Jersey paddle warrior, I would say. And, you know, I think he's got some explosiveness to his game. But I'm just going to be surprised as a last-minute fill-in here, or, you know, having not played a tournament together, if they can stand up at all to Hughes and Powers.
Yeah, Mike Stulac is a New Jersey resident also. He and his wife and daughter just moved here from New York City. That lefty roller of John Hughes is difficult to handle. There's an ace.
That was a rare ace in the sport of platform tennis.
Mike Stulac has a non-traditional forehand, but what he does is he takes the ball so early with a short swing.
As you can see there, Mike can get any ball that's hit to him out of any strange screen rebound.
You see, Mark Powers realized that was not a great overhead he's hitting. He's got to rotate more to get more spin on the ball, but he got away with one there.
I think right there you saw that great return of serve that John Hughes has developed out here. Right there you can see the quickness of Mark Powers.
Stulac and Browne are going to try to work themselves into this. They lost the first 2 games pretty quickly. Mike's probably not going to want to do that again. He's a very experienced player and a very smart player, so he'll figure out quickly what the trouble spots are in the court.
One thing I'll look for is the overheads out of Browne and Stulac not being that experienced. Are they able to avoid the explosiveness that Powers and Hughes have off the deck?
Yeah, one mistake, hit it one overhead too hard, and they'll be in trouble.
It's a beautiful serve from Mike Stulac right up the tee. Caused John Hughes to play it off the back screen, which you can do in paddle.
And they're on the board.
So that was a big hold for Stulac and Browne, and that's where Mike is the veteran, and he'll be the captain battling in this match today. I mean, I think he'll be leading the effort from Stulac and Browne, trying to come up with a game plan.
Strategically, I would assume.
And I think that's what the advantage you see when you have these veteran players who know how to win. I mean, at the highest level in the sport. I think it's wise for Billy Browne to look to Mike to kind of captain this team here and try to navigate through.
John Hughes to serve. To get used to the lefty spin also. See, Hughes took all the pace off of that ball, and Browne tried to do too much with it.
I think it's going to be really important for Stulac and Browne to limit their errors here, and they've got to keep this match close in these first couple of games. Otherwise, Powers and Hughes could just steamroll him.
You can see Stulac and Browne aren't really sure, who's taking the ball down the middle. It's the first time playing together.
And that was a quality return for Billy Browne. Just took it off the screen, picked a target, just let the guy volley the ball, and they get into the point. Billy's got a powerful drive, Lauren, but it's not going to produce any errors off of this amazing volleying team of Powers and Hughes.
Stulac tried to sneak in. Not a bad play. Worth trying.
Lauren, this is shaping up into a beautiful day here at the Short Hills Club for this last stop on the APTA Grand Prix Tour. We've got beautiful conditions. It was about 38 degrees out here, a little overcast, perfect paddle day.
Hughes and Powers just lobbing, trying to lob deep and wait for an overhead they can attack.
Lauren, that's a great point there. Even though Hughes and Powers are huge they're supposed to win this match. But they're still going to be deliberate in the way they go about winning this match.
Well, at this level, you can't just go out and bam, bam, bam. So they're going to have to set up their shots, try to pull the other team back, and get a short ball or a hard ball to work with. And that's how they'll create their offense.
And I think the top teams in this sport, when I watch them play these early round matches or later round matches, their style of play is not all that different. They've got to establish their comfortable tempo throughout their day to be successful.
Yeah, it's hard to start playing one way, and then when you get in a tough match, try to play a different way. 15:30. Billy Browne serving to Mark Powers.
So this match is going to be up to Billy Browne here to see if they can make it competitive. Billy's not a teaching pro. He's not on the court all the time. Maybe not tournament tough in terms of being mentally able to stay in and play really long points. And that
Yeah.
was the second time Billy got broken here in the match. He started the match off and there was a break, and I just think this is where, Stulac and Browne are a phenomenal team relative to many paddle players around the country. But you get out here with one of these top 4 seeds and there is a divide.
I just don't see, Hughes and Powers are quicker. They hit harder. There's nothing that they don't do better. So it's going to take something extraordinary from Stulac and Browne.
I don't think they'll hit Mike that many balls. They've already seen that Billy's got a willingness to put, a couple of shots in play, and then he's going to hit.
Yeah.
And he's going to hit whether it's a smart time to hit or not.
Wait, when your partner's coming in, you got to get that ball soft and low. You want the other team to have to hit a volley up so your partner has a chance at the blitz.
So Powers and Hughes can bring the heat with explosive overheads, but they don't really have a need to do that in this match so far to win the points.
I think they're having a lot of success hitting softer overheads and getting Browne to overhit.
You feel like they're baiting Billy in a little bit over there. And I think about 80% of Billy's lobs have kind of gone cross-court right to Mark Powers. He's the righty of the two with the blue shirt, and that just plays into their strengths.
That was a nice slash backhand drop shot. Can't hit it much better than that one. Oh, and a sloppy overhead.
It's kind of the signature Mike Stulac move right there. Real effective. Kind of hitting a chip return and following it in.
And even John Hughes wasn't quick enough to run that one down. Smart again. That's what Mike Stulac's going to do. He's going to keep changing the pace and hitting the ball down low. Try to draw errors.
It's a little bit of a loose place shot from Mark Powers. He just threw it over to Mike, and he paid the price. That's a great lob from Billy Browne right there. I think the chance they have to break down Hughes and Powers is lob the lefty up the line a little bit, might be successful. Great shot up the line right there.
Advantage Hughes, Powers.
They're creating some movement here. If Browne can get his drive going a little, it'll be closer.
Lauren Powers and Hughes have become a veteran team now, and you can see, even though this is early in the match, they're in total control. They still are going to chat and work together as a team. The other thing, Lauren, is I think that's Mark Powers' second or third loose overhead error. Could be something to watch. I doubt he'll have too many more. Sorry.
No, he just, like you said, just completely sloppy overheads for no reason, but he's not really worried right now. 5-1, Mike Stulac serving. 1-5.
And that's where Billy Browne, return a serve. You just can't make errors against Hughes and Powers and stay in the match. They're a phenomenal volleying team, and you just kind of have to get the point started, try to get in a little deeper in each point here. Billy's mom from Chatham, New Jersey, Carol, shout out. She's a longtime paddle player. Met her decades ago on the courts, Lauren, and I'm sure she's enjoying watching her son out here.
Love 30.
It's a great camera angle, thanks to our eNet Live guys. Mike Stulac's in a hole here, down 1-5, love 30.
So better lobs from Browne. A little more depth, pulling Powers over.
I'm sure some people watching are wondering why they don't hit the ball harder. It's not in the game plan for Stulac and Browne from the baseline. They bring up the pace. This will go faster.
Right, because good volleying teams like Powers and Hughes will close on the net and just drop any hard drive right in front of them and win the point. It's not to your advantage to hit hard all the time in paddle.
3 sets points here against Stulac and Browne, and that's the first set, Lauren.
They win the first set.
There's the first set, and we will be back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA network presented by eNet Live.
Wealth has a new definition. Today, it's being created by all kinds of business owners, entrepreneurs, and men and women in every profession. At Boston Private, we know them personally because they're our clients. And we have the wealth management and private banking expertise to create a custom approach for your financial life. We're redefining wealth management because you're redefining wealth.
The more they raise their hands out there, the more they'll raise their hands in here. Good Sports gives kids the lifelong benefits of sports by providing equipment to those most in need. Donate today, because kids who play do better.
Welcome back to the APTA Grand Prix Series presented by eNet Live. We are in the round of 32 of a women's match between John Hughes and Mark Powers, men's match, sorry, and Mike Stulac and Billy Browne. And we're going to go down now to our roving reporter, Mark Fischel, and see what he's seeing on some of the other courts.
Thanks, Lauren. We have a terrific match down here between Gugu Gingavis and Graham Matthews against Bernard Shulman and Anton Babinski. Bernard and Anton won the first set 7-5. So Gugu and Graham are back for the first 2 love. We're having audio problems. Go back to the recording.
All right, we're having some microphone issues, so we're going to go back to the match we're watching.
We've got John Hughes serving. Hughes and Powers won the first set, as we said, 6-1. So this being the final leg on the APTA Grand Prix Series, Lauren, Hughes and Powers, I mean, they burst on the paddle scene last season and really have risen in the ranks, and they're definitely in everybody's top 4 in the country, and actually I think they're third
30,
place
40.
in the Grand Prix standings going into this tournament.
Yes, they are. They've had quite a few successful Grand Prix tournaments so far this year. They got to the semis of Chicago Charities. They got to the semis of Patterson. And I'm sure they'd like to break through and make a Grand Prix finals here.
Yeah, as a team, I think they've got what it takes. They've got the mental toughness, the physical capability, I mean, the shot making. They really just keep getting better and better with every tournament.
They do have all the shots. When they lost to Durant and Parsons 2 weeks ago in Boston,
Advantage, Hughes, Powers.
they just seemed to hit a wall and not be able to change gears, change their game plan. So that's going to be the next step for them.
I think that's a good point, Lauren, about when teams break into the top echelon of the sport and remain there.
Hughes, Powers.
It's because of a willingness to
They lead
adjust
1
a game
to
plan.
love second set. Hughes, Powers won the first set 6 games to 1.
And these players are all so good, and when we watch them as individuals, it's just amazing to see the skills. But the key really is the 2 guys who get out here and work together as a team.
Yeah.
Billy Browne is serving. 0-1,
Love
start
15.
off the second set. Little surprised he's serving
Love 30.
first in this set. He was broken each time in the first set.
Some people just aren't comfortable starting off serving a set.
Fifteen, 30. Foot fault.
Hughes and Powers are in the same
15,
quarter of
40.
the draws. Max Sleepaver and George Wilkinson, who won their match. They're the 5th seeds, and they always have very tough encounters.
So that would be they're on a collision course if both get through.
Yep,
Next couple of matches.
that'll be an excellent quarterfinal matchup.
Lauren, how late in the day are these matches going to be going on?
Oh, there's going to be a few hours at least under the lights.
With a New Jersey crowd, lots of supporters. Yesterday was so much fun to watch the men's 95s, the 60s, the women's B. 420 players, or 460, are playing this weekend in this 3-day event. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and Short Hills is the only Grand Prix tournament where both the men and the women have their main tournaments on the same day. And I think that's a nice change of pace for everyone.
Game, Hughes, Powers. They lead 2 games to love. Second set.
So unfortunately, Browne Stulac still haven't held serve on Billy Browne, and they've got themselves into an early hole here in the second set. Mark Powers serving, 2-love, second set. We're at the Short Hills Club in Short Hills, New Jersey on APTA Network, eNet Live.
Nice splits behind his return by Mike Stulac. Gets in there so quickly.
It seems that's their only offense out here, Lauren, from the baseline. If you can get a quick little 1-2 combination, maybe to catch Hughes and Powers off guard.
Yeah, and his best chance is on his own return of serve.
Right, as the points go longer and longer,
Well,
doesn't favor Browne and Stulac.
no, because they're really not in control of the points. Hughes and Powers are controlling it both from the net and from the baseline.
It's a good combination of overheads right here in this point from Stulac and Browne. They've got Powers and Hughes scrambling really for the first time today.
Let's see if Mike Stulac tries to come in behind his serve again.
He found that seam right between those guys.
Yep, found that little hole.
I was going to say that was a generous call.
Yeah.
So if Mark Powers were to play that long shot, Lauren, the umpire would not overrule and say out.
Unless, right.
Unless
He
the
would-
other team, but they're
Unless the
never
other
gonna
team asked, but
question.
why would they?
3:15.
Lauren, sometimes some teams after a first set, which isn't really close, if both players on the baseline are comfortable playing both sides, sometimes we'll see a switch. But Mike Stulac, I think, prefers the deuce court overwhelmingly here, so a switch for them is not really viable.
Yeah, I think that's, in this case, they're better off just trying to cut down on their errors and try to figure out a way to get themselves into the match. I'm not sure switching sides would help them.
And I think when we see it, effective lobbing from baseline players, they're pulling the players way back beyond the service line, and we're rarely seeing that out of Stulac and Browne today.
Advantage Hughes, Powers.
Browne
it
got
doesn't
one
go-
to hit. Yeah,
It doesn't go your way, it doesn't
that's
go
a
your
good,
way.
right.
Seems the let courts go your way when you're doing well and
Game
against you.
Hughes, Powers, they lead 3 games to love. Second set. Hughes, Powers won the first set 6 games to 1.
Let's get on the board right here.
Lauren, this is another step on the Grand Prix, and our major sponsor, and a great shout out is to Viking. They are so supportive to the game of platform tennis, every adult tournament, kids tournaments. Huge shout out to Viking and Alex Spancula and their support of the sport.
Yes, we'd also like to thank our other sponsors. Osteo Biflex, Behringer Vineyard,
Love 15.
Club Pilates, Maplecrest Ford, Spiro Harrison Law Firm, Narragansett Brewery, and the New Jersey Men's Platform Tennis Association.
Shout out to Carolyn Collins, a great supportive member of Paddle here, right out of the Short Hills Club, and she just opened up her Pilates studio. We wish her the best.
Love 30.
Stulac and Browne are looking a little dejected, Patty.
Billy's got a good sense of humor about it, Lauren.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not out here playing the tournaments week in, week out, and so it's kind of tough for them to even come up with a game plan here. And Hughes and Powers are they're really out of their league.
15-30.
Another longtime member of the Short Hills Club, big paddle fan, is our umpire, Mark Bliss. Mark, Carolyn Collins, the entire membership of Short Hills, along with host pro Dave Broderick
40.
and Dave's assistant, Blake Anderson, put in a tremendous amount of work to pull off this first-rate event. Thrilled to have it be on the Grand Prix Series this year. It is the 66th consecutive year, Lauren, this tournament has been held.
that's amazing.
Fault. Game Hughes, Powers. Make audible calls for me, please. They lead 4 games. Just so I hear. Okay. I saw it out, but
Mark Bliss is the umpire in charge, Lauren, on the court at every point during play.
It was a soft volley from Hughes. So Stulac wouldn't have enough time to get back to it, but Stulac's quick enough that he got there anyway.
All right, Billy Browne.
love 15.
Kind of a rare volley miss. And I love that Billy followed it right back up with a good drive. I think he's just got to go at these guys, not around them, and just hope he gets some unforced errors.
The thing you realize when you play top players is that they manage to take away everything you're good at. So
15 all.
you feel like a totally different player than you would on the court with playing against lesser players. Suddenly your best shots are no longer effective.
Right, Stulac and Browne, like we said, would beat 95% of the paddle players in the country. Yet you come out against the top teams and it's really challenging.
And that small difference makes a huge difference. Like they look like there's mountains separating them.
Another good solid return from Billy. Just went at him and now they're into the point. I'd love to see Billy drive a few more balls. He's come, Hughes and Powers are lefty-righty combination. And a vulnerable spot at times is through the middle on a lefty and righty.
40-30.
So that just might be something where if he could, might be a little too late, but if he could put some drives through the middle, he might find a way to just find a little bit of a chink in their armor. See Hughes and Powers are just keeping the ball away from Mike Stulac.
There was a good drive. Caught John Hughes looking towards the middle and hit a good backhand down the line that Hughes had to reach for and make a volley error.
Oh. Advantage Browne Stulac.
This is the first ad point on serve for Stulac and Browne.
Oh.
Game Browne Stulac. Hughes Powers will lead 4 games to 1. Second set.
And Lauren, as we've seen so many times in paddle, anything really can happen
That's
on
true.
a court. And we've seen teams up 6-1, 4-1, end up being a 3-set match. Anything's possible, and that's the importance of Browne and Stulac just keeping balls in play and trying to just go longer and longer into the points.
Well, they played most of the points in that game on their own terms.
So Billy Browne serving, and would be huge for him to hold serve the first time in this match. All right, he's up on his serving game. 15 love, Lauren.
John Hughes is wandering a little bit. It's hard, Patty, when you win, when you're winning 6-1, 4-love to keep your focus. And in paddle, if you lose a little bit of focus, you're in trouble because you have to focus on every point. Play a lot of balls on every point.
Well, you need the physical skills, but you need that mental component, the match management.
There's a good slash drop shot.
30-15.
Great ball.
1 second, please. All.
Thank you.
see how Mark Powers just
30, 40.
places that shot with no pace a couple times during that point. And it's hard as the volleyer not to try to do too much with it, because you have to create your own pace.
Game Hughes Powers. They lead 5 games to 1. Second set.
Well, I think that's what we see with the really good volleyers in the game, Lauren. But every year they play, coming over from tennis, they long to wait longer before making contact on their volleys. They, in a sense, hold the ball. And that enables them to have ideal placement and to hit low bouncing
30 low.
volleys.
Mark Powers, 2 points away from the match. Caught all the lines there with that serve. We've seen a lot of points here, Patty, where Mark Powers is hitting overheads into Browne's corner. And he's just not been able to make that shot enough.
Match point, Powers and Hughes.
There it is. Game, set, match to Mark Powers and John Hughes. And Jerry Vian is making her way down to the court to talk to them about the match. Jerry, you there with the winners?
All right, guys, congratulations. How are you feeling that early round match?
I feel pretty good. Yeah, I think early round matches are pretty important. We try to kind of play our game and play the way we feel like we want to play later in the day, hopefully in the main draw. So I think we're just trying to do the right things and keep that momentum going into the later matches.
Right, well, you had a great tournament in Boston 2 weeks ago. So what have you been thinking since that match?
I think we had a lot of takeaways from the tournament. We're hoping to make a few little minor adjustments, but hoping that that will make all the difference this tournament. A little more patience out there, waiting for the right shots. But couldn't be happier out here 2 weeks later, and looking forward to the rest of the tournament.
You guys look at the draw. Do you know who your potential next round will be?
I think I think maybe Victor Vidal and.
I'm going to say no. You don't look at the draw.
Sometimes.
No, and that's fine. That's
I
fine.
don't know.
That's fine. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Just a personal question. So
Yeah.
what are you going to do now to get ready for your next match?
I think take a little break mentally for a second, relax, and then focus back up right before the match. I think that's all you can do at these kind of events. When you have 5 matches in a day, you definitely need a little downtime to kind of take your mind off the match, so as to not, it's tough to sustain focus throughout the day. But yeah, we're looking forward to a good one.
All right, well, congrats, and we look forward to seeing you in your next round.
Thank you very much.
Okay.